Alright, here at True Aquaponics we're going to do a little bit of pulling of some older plants and replacing them with newer plants. And one of the things I may do, I've got a tomato bush here that is just overgrowing. For whatever reason, it's just exploded all at once. Now, this is one single plant, and it goes, let me back off from it, from right here at this grow bed over to the other side. And there's actually another plant, and you can see the separation between them. But this one plant is the full length of one grow bed, so it's 4 foot wide and about, well, say 4 foot long and 2 foot wide, somewhere around there. And it's just exploding in growth, and I hate to do too much to it because on some of the older growth I've got some tomatoes, so I'm going to try to leave it. I may tie some of this up just to give more room in the edge of my grow bed here. But what I'm going to pull up is some of this. I'm going to pull this one right here. And the reason for that is I need room to put other plants in, newer plants. That root system, isn't that wonderful? It's just fantastic the way roots grow in this system. We'll clean that up, get the rocks back off. I'll drop those back in. And any little roots that are left on these rocks will just become biomass. Not a big deal. It's good for the system overall. Gives you some more for the worms to eat, to make more worm castings. Anyway, we'll come back to this. I've actually got a celery plant that I want to plant. I've gone ahead and pulled it up, and I wish I would have waited. Let's give you a view of everything. Our Swiss chard today, we were at the supermarket, and we looked at their Swiss chard, the rainbow chard that was for sale. One little bunch, which was on this one plant, you could probably get 3 of the bunches that they had for sale for US almost $5 a bunch, and we could get 3 out of this one. The difference is, and I'm talking about the number of leaves that they had in the bunch. The difference is ours are over half the size bigger. So their leaves would have been this big, and ours are twice that size. So the aquaponics just growing it so big, it's unreal. My Brussels sprouts are just taking over. I'm probably going to thin because I've got basil in here that's just being drowned out, and my chives down here are not getting hardly any sun anymore. Anyway, let's make our way around to the celery. And I had it in our seeding media here, and I've got something else that came up. I'm not sure what it is because these were planted so long ago, I don't remember anymore. I mean, I can look at these and see what I planted, but it's been so long, I assume those seeds have gone bad. And there's one right there that may or may not have tried to sprout and then just died. So that happens. Anyway, I've got a plant here I'm trying to be careful with, but I just pulled this celery out of this media. And if you look close, there's probably still a few pebbles in here of pea gravel right in the very bottom. It's hard to see. There's one right there, but it just keeps all that with it. Anyway, I've made a place over here in the grow bed, and if you've watched any of my past videos, you know I will pull the siphons on my beds and let them fill up before I plant. And I've had a lot of success with transplanting doing this, not to mention it's much easier on the hands to plant in a bed that's full. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this in here. And by the way, there's a tomato plant to my left that I was about to pull. I was going to pull it up and replace it with a new plant because I felt like it wasn't doing anything. But just a little while ago I looked up just before I got ready to start cutting, and I found a tomato. If you look right through there, if you can see it, there's a tomato right in there. So I'm going to leave this plant, and what I did was today I'm just not producing fruit. So I borrowed the wife's feather duster, and I went to one plant, feather dusted all the flowers I could find. Then I came to this side, did the same thing, such as with these flowers right here where we've got blooms. Went ahead and dusted over those. Same thing with those up there and right here, and we'll see what happens. I'll give it a week or two, see if we start producing fruit or not. If we do, then I will go ahead and save the plant. I may do some trimming of these suckers that are coming up down here. And this plant to the left actually starts right down here. And it goes and goes and goes. And it actually makes it up a full, it's 8 feet from where it's planted up to the very tip top. And it's been there before, fallen over, and it's growing back up there again. So it's just a matter of time before it gets there. Anyway, I will be trimming some of this old growth that is really not doing much anymore. Some of it got hit by the freeze we had where it got so cold in the greenhouse even. We just couldn't keep it heated quick enough. And you can see we've got a little bit of dead, a few dead leaves and what have you in there. We'll take that out just to make things a little cleaner. That way we don't have anything rotten on the actual tomato vine. We'll throw that in the compost and feed our worms. Anyway, my next thing to do is I'm going to take some of this Rodina lettuce right here, which came from seed. Just dumped it in the pebbles, mixed them around a little bit like that, walked away, and within a week we had lettuce standing. And it's been quite a while now. You'd have to go back and look at the videos and pictures to figure out when I planted this, because honestly I don't remember. But also another thing I'm going to move are these onions. Now all these onions and the celery were onions we bought in the store, cut them off, saved the bottoms, and just stuck them in to this pea gravel and let them grow. Once they do that, I'll transplant them out into the lava rock, which, believe it or not, you can do it directly in the lava rock. I just like playing in the pea gravel. But you transfer this out into the lava rock, and then when you're ready for a salad, if you want onions or you're having a burger or whatever, you want some onion greens, you cut off what you want, and the plant will regrow again. You don't pull it, you just leave it where it's at. It's a wonderful way to do it. Let's see, I got anything else interesting in here to show other than just a big massive bunch of plants that are going crazy. I had no idea that they were going to do this well. I mean, none whatsoever. Every once in a while there's a pot hanging above me. This is actually just a vinca that we keep on the front porch. It got hit by the freeze outside. We forgot to bring it in. Brought it on into the greenhouse, started giving it some aquaponic water every few days. Just straight into the pot, and I let that drain back into our seeding media so that we don't get dirt back into our main system. And it's coming back out and appearing, it looks like it's doing pretty well. So all this growth has happened very rapidly once it started growing. So I guess that's about it. I've already fed the fish today, or I'd have that on video as well. The only thing left is to transplant a few of these other things into that hole I just made in the far side of the bed. And pick a lettuce or pick a salad for tonight. Anyway, that's it for this update. I hope everybody's having a wonderful time with their aquaponics system. And I will speak to you later. Alright, just to show what's going on, in the last video segment I talked about transplanting some plants out of the seeding media into another area. Moved some onions, I moved a celery. Everything came out really well, and I got to looking at this basil, which I talked about in the last segment, and I'm actually digging it out now. I'm going to move it to another location. I've got 2 basil plants here, and then over in this bed, in what we call bed number 1, I've got my new spinach and some new Swiss chard, which will actually get fairly sizable. But I'm hoping, because of the size of my basil already, right here's a leaf, that this is what I will see. I'll try to pick these off, and there's not really any disease. It's something else that's happened, whether I've gotten into that plant and rubbed it against something. But I'm gonna tell you, you smash that up and you smell good for a while. Some good smelling stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna put the other basil over in this bed, right in this area. I'm actually gonna have to move this spinach plant, which is fine. I got room right here, but I'm gonna have all 3 basil plants right here together. I actually had 4 basil plants to begin with. And I lost one of them. Now, did it die, or have I just lost it in this jungle? I'm not sure. But as I shove this camera in here, you can see real quick, there's a whole lot of jungle. So trying to figure out where something might be after I've lost it is a little difficult. I'm just having to try to dig through, and I'm doing the best I can to clean out. Like when I see this right here, these old leaves, like from this arugula, I think that's what that's called. I'll go ahead and pull that out. We don't want that to just sit there and rot in the system, and the only reason I say that is probably good biomass. But I don't like things laying on top rotting because I don't want to end up with disease that might spread to some other plants. If I see a limb that's been broken or a leaf been broken off, I'll go ahead and pluck that off. It's not a great looking leaf anyway. Wouldn't make a salad out of it. And then let's go back over here by this tomato plant that's going kind of nuts. Remember I told you I was going to leave, there was another head of lettuce right here I was going to leave. I pulled them both. Now the reason for that, and you can do this with your plants, especially your leafy greens. If you're harvesting greens, every once in a while go to your older plants, pull a leaf off and taste it. You're going to notice if the plant's getting too mature. If it's at the end of its life cycle, fixing to go to seed, or if it's just whatever may be going wrong. If it gets bitter, go ahead and pull that plant, or if you want to let it go to seed, do that. But know that you're not going to be taking any more food from that plant. So once you get one that's bitter, and let's see, let's move around here. I did it with this plant, and you can see the family's been coming through, and this is one of their favorite ones to pick from apparently. But you just break one off, chew on that, man, that's good. That is nice and fresh and crisp. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. So this plant stays unless I'm overgrown. Excuse me while I eat the rest of this. Very, very good. And any throwaways I've got, I just put in this bucket. I carry out, and I've got a bin. I put that in for compost. We don't waste anything. Now what I'm actually doing, like I said, when I plant, I'll pull my auto siphon out and I will fill my bed up. See where this one's getting. It's still quite a ways down. The reason I do this, especially if I'm transplanting from lava rock, is because if I don't have a full bed, it's very rough on the root system. So I'll end up pulling off a lot of my roots that I want to take with me. When you do that, then you have to wait for your root growth to come back before you get that explosive plant growth again. So, let's say if we were to pull this kale plant, this is an Italian kale, this plant, let me tell you, I really don't talk about it much, but this kale is some of the least bitter and least hard on your mouth. You can eat this in a salad raw without cooking it, and this, I mean, it is great. I could go on and on about it, but I won't. But this is really, really a good breed of lettuce, or of kale rather. So we got quite a bit of it. It's the only thing I will not pull out unless it goes bad. If it gets overcrowded, I'll move them around, but I'm not getting rid of the kale. Now the reason for that is they have so many wonderful values as far as what they offer you, you know, health-wise. My daughter loves to put it in her magic bullet. She comes out here when she comes home from college and just goes through the garden, picks everything she wants, and for days she's got fresh, organically grown, out of our aquaponics system stuff for her magic bullet. And I don't know exactly what she calls it, but she goes nuts with it. I know every time she comes home, this poor Swiss chard right here, it's the only one we had growing, will get cut off down here. Everything's gone except for maybe one little leaf. And then it grows back just like it has, and I'll tell you, that's phenomenal growth to me. This is the growth that came out of the last time she cut it back for her drinks she makes, and it just keeps right on going. Love this stuff, guys. If you're still wondering whether or not you should get into aquaponics, it's tough to get started, but as your beds start to mature the first time, you're gonna get so excited about what you got, and you'll see stuff like this waxy leaf. Try to grow this in the ground. Tell me how waxy it is without adding lots of different nutrients to that ground. You'll be constantly putting Miracle Grow or something on it, trying to get this look. Whereas in aquaponics, our fish do it for us. Now we do have to add some supplements such as iron and potassium and what have you, but you know, that's just part of it. You have to accept that coming in, that's just part of it, and do it and keep your plants healthy. So remember, what you put in your plants, you're going to put in yourself. What you feed your fish, you're feeding yourself. So try to buy the best quality whatever you can. Fish food, supplements like iron or potassium or whatever else you're putting into your system. Make sure it's quality. Don't go buy the junk. Alright? You just remember you're putting that in your body. Give you a couple more little shots here. Then I'm going to shut this off and finish transplanting stuff. I was going to cut back a tomato bush a ways, but I've decided not to since I pulled both those heads of lettuce out. There is the second celery that I planted, and just to show you, and I wish it was getting more sun, but there's the original celery we planted. This thing now is 18 inches tall. Go to a supermarket and you find me celery that's 18 inches long that you can buy off the shelf, and you will have shown me where you can buy something nice like you can get out of your own aquaponics system. You cannot get this at your local supermarket usually. I'm sure there's somewhere a Whole Foods or a specialty store that's going to have great big celery. It's going to have great big whatever, but it's not very often. It's hard to find. This stuff we're growing in our backyard, in our greenhouse, powered by fish. Absolutely love it. Now, where I removed the 2 heads of lettuce right here in this grow bed behind this tomato plant, I actually brought all my onions, the new starts, and some of my older plants into this area, and I'm still bringing them in. I'm just trying a new experiment. I haven't actually seen this done, but you know that with aquaponics, your planting density is not an issue as long as your plants are getting enough sunlight, because your nutrients are brought to your roots. Your roots don't have to go out and find the nutrition. It's brought to you, or to the plants. So what I've done is just plant these very close together, and as I find more onions that I've forgotten about that are here and there, I'm moving them over here, getting them in this bunch. So when we decide we want some onions, some greens, we'll just come out here and cut some greens. If we want the actual whole onion, we'll pull one up. I'm going to do the same thing or similar with my garlic. Now, understand that with the garlic that I've got growing here, and by the way, don't put your garlic and your onions together. They don't like each other very much. They're not going to do well. But you'll notice here, I've got a couple of garlic that are fairly close together. And what I'm going to do is bunch all these together and try to give more space to the overall system. This is one of what I consider my prize garlics. This thing has just really gone to town. It's doing fantastic. It's 18 inches tall. And it came from one clove, and it's done so in just a few months. And this is just garlic off the shelf. You know, at the grocery store you buy to make spaghetti sauce or whatever. Couple of cloves left over. Don't let them sit on the counter and go bad. Put them in your system. We direct sowed them right in the beds, and they came up within a couple of days and have just done well, very, very well. Cilantro I've got here, unfortunately, is a little bit shaded, and I just harvested. And here's another piece that I missed. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to eat that. I love cilantro. I'm going to have to decide whether to eat or make videos. Good stuff. Now you can see here, I've had a few posts on the site asking about iron deficiencies. That's what this is. This is an iron deficiency, but this is an old leaf. Folks, when you put iron in your system, and I will go and look and find the best that's recommended. It's actually by Dr. Story. It's not my recommendation. And be smart. Go out there. Don't think you know everything, because I don't. I'm not a guru, but I know several. Get their information, get their ideas, you know, and learn from that and learn what to do. Put the right kind of iron in your system. This will go away. Will it go away on this leaf? No. What you'll have to do is look at your new growth, like this right here. And you'll see on my new growth, my new leaves, if I can get a good sunny shot. I hope that's showing up. You don't see any yellowing on those new leaves. They're nice and green. Very, very nice, healthy leaves. Same thing here. We've got some yellowing on this plant, and that was kale we were looking at. For the moment, I cannot think of what this plant is called. Somebody will correct me or tell us what it is, but it's got purple leaves that come out also. Doing very well. We were yellowing here after the iron. No more yellowing. Here's some more kale. Same thing. The older leaves have quite a bit of yellowing, but the newer leaves that are coming out are really nice. They look really good. Now, let me tell you something. If you're going to have a ham sandwich and you want a little lettuce on there, forego the iceberg lettuce. Go to your aquaponics system, pull out some kale, stick that on there. Get some arugula. I don't know. Be a little spicy and, well, not really spicy. It's not that spicy, but grab you some Swiss chard. Throw that on there. Enjoy yourself. Make it a good day. grab some Radina lettuce, throw that on there, which is, if I don't move, I'm going to start eating that again. I came around this side a while ago and was just kind of checking my plants, like I said in an earlier video today. Just checking to make sure. Uh-oh, look at there. What do we have? It's nothing. I thought that might have been a worm of some sort, but it's not. Anyway, but I started grazing in this area, checking my plants to make sure everything was good and no bitterness. And I ended up eating half a salad standing here with no dressing. So you got to be careful of that, otherwise the wife will get on your butt. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. I've got some more cleanup to do here, some more transplanting to do to get the rest of this lettuce over. I've got some romaine lettuce I'm going to try to get out into the beds today. And hopefully that stuff will get going good, and we will have new lettuce to pick next week or the week after. As you finish up watching this video, if you don't mind, go ahead and subscribe to our channel if you hadn't already. Also, share this video with others. There's so many people out there that are unaware of what's going on in aquaponics. They hear hydroponics, then they'll hear aquaponics, and they think it's the same thing. Make sure they get the opportunity to see that it's completely different. Hydroponics, you're dumping chemicals in it all the time, and you have to flush the systems. In this system, the water that's in this system, at least a portion of this water has been here since day one. Now we have some evaporation, the plants eat some, we've spilled some, and we lose a little bit certain times when we're doing different things just to do maintenance on the system. But there's always some of the original water in your system, so it just reuses your water over and over. So that's a wonderful green way to live. Anyway, share this. If you're not part of our Facebook group, find us at True Aquaponics on Facebook. Also, we have a site at trueaquaponics.com. And please, like I said, share the video.